Kinzinger from Illinois. And first, let me applaud you and thank you for coming on the show today. It was not easy to book your Republican brothers and sisters. You did not shy away. We couldn't get anybody from the White House. Kellyanne Conway is out there this morning, but she would not come in here, even though we invited her, and that opportunity continues. So thank you for taking it, Congressman.
You bet. Yeah.
So let's talk about decency for one moment. You often have arguments that get tested on this show. You always conduct yourself with decency. You don't take personal shots, and you seem to expect the same from others. So what is your comment on what you expect from the President of the United States and the head of your party?
I expect him to act like a president. You know, I saw the tweet yesterday, and actually I had to hear it a couple times, and I thought this was from way back in the campaign. You know, look, whether that's a tweet that's not even becoming of a city councilman. We have to expect a lot of our president. Look, he is unorthodox, and I think that can work to his advantage in certain ways. Unorthodox in the fact that he tweets, unorthodox in how he speaks, unorthodox in the way he delivers a message. And I think kind of at this time where people want straight talk, he can fill that. But there is a point, and that was crossed yesterday, in which a president can punch across or punch up on behalf of people, but when you punch down and you single out people and you try to go after folks' character and then you say something really nonsensical, I mean, I read it, I'm like, what? I don't even quite understand it. That needs to change, and I hope he or the White House is listening. You know, we've been saying this for months, but hopefully that tone can change.
Well, what they're saying is you're wrong. If someone hits him, he should hit back. This is what people voted for. And the media is tough on him, often personal, specifically the person that he attacked yesterday, Mika Brzezinski, that she insults him all the time, and she deserves to get it back. That's who Trump is. Do you accept that rationale?
No, she's in the news business, right? She's got an opinion. I mean, this is a pretty rough and tumble game we're in. I mean, I take hits from media sometimes, and it doesn't always make you happy, but it doesn't mean that I lash out. I volunteered for this job. I ran for this job. I asked people to put me in this job. It is difficult, and you're going to take grief and you're going to take hits. But we have to have a level of decency. It's singling people out, I don't think, is good, obviously. I think the way, the tone it was said is not good, obviously. This is about every time each side escalates. So, you know, somebody gets hit, so somebody hits back, and then somebody hits harder, and it keeps escalating. There's no end to that besides, you know, like an explosion of the pressure cooker. Both sides have to bring the temperature down. And the president putting out this tweet is not helpful at all. In fact, I called it out yesterday.
So let's check a couple of boxes real quickly on issue items for the American people. First, the president put out a tweet this morning saying if you can't get this deal done, just repeal, worry about replace later. Are you okay with that?
No, I think it's repeal and replace. I think we have to have a good system for the American people to come in. We can argue about whether they like the system that we're bringing in or not, but I think to simply put a repeal, even with a sunset of a year or two down the road, the problem is we know how Washington works. You can't, sometimes on deadlines we still don't get things done. You can't leave the American people out like this, and I mean, this is how sequester happened. We thought we would be able to fix this problem, and it never did.
Promises matter. Repeal and replace was one, but you got to take care of the American people as well. That's the balance you all have to strike. Now, another balance. How to protect America's interests while still respecting the law. You serve this country with honor and distinction. The decisions that politicians make, you had to put into effect on the battlefield, and we thank you for your service. Syria presents another potential episode where American military may be involved. Do you think that it is time for the American president to come before Congress and the American people and make the case for military strategy and use in Syria and to have a vote on an authorization for the use of military force?
Yeah, I'm for it. I think the president is acting legally, as I thought President Obama was acting legally under the current use of force authorizations.
Why would an authorization to fight al-Qaeda apply to fighting agained a regime in Syria?
Well, it's al-Qaeda offsets. This continued war on terror actually does target al-Qaeda as well. But look, I have a authorization for the use of force that I wrote that gives the president the authority to destroy the Islamic State and its affiliates. I want it to come to Congress. I'm for that. I think it's the right thing to do. And I think one thing we have to understand, even beyond just the whole use of force issue, once ISIS is defeated, and they're on the cusp of it, you're not going to defeat the mindset. That's a big issue and something that I think we have way more conversation about. When ISIS is gone, this is not the end of this battle. But I think, Syria is going to be very, very complicated post-ISIS. You have Iran, Russia, the Assad regime, and all these competing interests. This is something that I think we need to have a healthy debate. And the administration needs to sell this to the American people. And I'll tell you, the people around President Trump really do understand this. As I've talked to them, I have not spoken to the president directly about this.
This is the July 4th weekend that we're coming into. We're celebrating our independence and our freedom. I want to thank you, Congressman Adam Kinzinger, one, for your service to this country, protecting the freedoms of people like me, and for taking the opportunity to come on this show when many others in your party wouldn't. Thank you, sir.